Pakistan fears its nukes may be targeted next. And remember, Pakistan has been notorious virtually across the world as a nuclear Walmart, a nuclear black market. Remember the father of the Pakistani bomb, Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan? He'd been accused of selling technology, and Pakistani Air Force C-130 aircraft were seen flying to Tehran amidst reports of nuclear black marketing at that time. Pakistani ships were caught on the Suez Canal when they were carrying technology for Libya. All of that was happening illegally. So a nuclear black market that Pakistan is, it's actually part of Pakistan's state policy. Is that the reason why Pakistan is so scared today? It's scared it may be bombed next by the Americans, and India may just assist them. Joining me on this India Today special broadcast is Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon. He is former Director General of India's Defence Intelligence Agency. Dr. Tara Kartha is former Director at the National Security Council Secretariat. Sushant Sareen is a Senior Fellow at the Observer Research Foundation. And Sushant Sareen, what do you make of this Pakistani fear that their Islamic bomb may be targeted next either by Israel or by the United States of America? And Sushant Sareen, you do remember in the 1980s, apparently there was such a plan.
Yeah, Gaurav, one, I think, in your in the initial report of your show, you were showing that imbecile Ahmed Mir, who thinks that car can run on water. So I don't think I'd take that guy seriously. But I think what is more important is that there has always been a certain amount of paranoia in Pakistan about the security and safety of its nuclear weapons. And ironically, it's not that the nuclear weapons that Pakistan has are seen as protecting Pakistan. In fact, Pakistan is trying to protect its nuclear weapons. So, that equation has been kind of turned on its head. But having said that, I think there are concerns among people who look at nuclear issues around the world, especially in the United States over the last year and a half, 2 years, that the Pakistanis are having a surreptitious program in which they might even be thinking of targeting the United States, or at least having the reach to enter the United States. Now, one of the problems with Pakistan is that the kind of the ecosystem there is in Pakistan, it's a very highly radicalized, Islamized ecosystem. And even now you see members of the ruling party, including their so-called defense minister, who's basically just a chapadasi, really. He doesn't call any shots, but nevertheless, he's the defense minister of that country. People like him, people very close to the ruling family, have been saying that we should be getting into an international jihad on this latest strikes in Iran. So there is that element inside Pakistan. It's part of the Pakistani mainstream, which thinks of targeting the United States, which thinks of targeting other countries with which they have religious or other differences. So there is certainly that aspect. But I think you also have to look at it, Gaurav, in a slightly different way. One is that the Pakistanis are very cleverly and carefully, because they've always been paranoid about a preemptive strike on their nuclear assets, they have dispersed their nuclear weapons. And nobody can be entirely sure where exactly those are stored. And as we are seeing in the case of Iran, even when you carry out spectacular strikes, you are still not sure whether you've actually dismantled and degraded the Iranian nuclear program to a point where you've actually rendered them toothless. So I think
let's take this point by point. Let's take this point by point. Let me bring in General Dhillon into this conversation. General Dhillon, Pakistan is a notorious black market for nuclear weapons technology, apparently sold to North Korea, to Iran. An attempt was made to sell it to Libya. Are Pakistan's fears genuine? Does Pakistan actually, in your appreciation, fear America and Israel could attempt to take its nukes out? And would they require Indian assistance to do so, as the Pakistanis fear?
Gaurav, good evening, and good evening to the fellow panelists and your viewers. Yes, Pakistan, fulfills too many conditions to be a target for taking out the nuclear weapons. Firstly, terrorism is the biggest threat to the mankind in today's world all across the globe. And Pakistan, being the fountainhead of terrorism, fulfills that condition. Second is, Pakistan works on the policy of a good man theory, bad man theory vis-a-vis India. Now, I'll explain this. In India, if somebody is in power, whichever political party, the theory is good man theory, that there is a democratic process, there will be elections, this party may come back. If not, the other party would come back, which would be not very irresponsible. So India always will be replaced by a responsible person. That is a good man theory. Whereas in Pakistan, every person who is in chair, he tends to give a signal, you protect me, otherwise the next chap is going to be a madman.
Worse, yeah.
So don't believe that next person. So every dispensation in Pakistan lives on this theory. And the third point is Pakistan is a broke country. It can do anything for dollars. And if it has the nukes and it has the nuclear technology, it has done it in the past. There is no denying the fact that it will do it again. Hence, the world is looking at Pakistan with very big suspicion. And the fourth point is Pakistan is like an ostrich with the head in the sand. It feels if the world needs them, that's why they're calling them for lunches and other things. So they believe them. Where the fact is, the world is using them for their benefit, but they are very sure in their heart of heart that here is the nuclear state, here is the terrorist state, here is a state where the Islamist terrorists run the writ, and here is a state which doesn't know who's going to be the next in the chair. And
And the
they
big
need the
fear
money.
is that Pakistan poses a bigger threat to the civilized world, perhaps bigger than even Iran